It's showtime, folks. Welcome in, Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game on this Wednesday. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier behind the glass, Ian Safar back there as well. Just saw PK, Robbie, Rex Road, Keezer, the whole crew. What's up, Joe?
What's up, man?
Not much.
Uh,
What college are we wearing today?
it's Green Hill High School.
Oh, that is Green Hill. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm all about the free stuff. As
You are the
well
king
know.
of getting free stuff.
Well, a lot of the coaches and teams like to reach out because they know I'll wear it. So I appreciate every bit of
Yeah.
that. So this is the courtesy of the Green Hill Hawks and Coach Josh Crouch out there has done a hell of a job of building that program at Green Hill High School. That's a really good high school, really good athletic programs, and a lot goes because they got a great AD and then they've got a great football coach. So love it, man. I love it a lot. By the way, Paul, we have to share the same headphones. When I put these on, these are so warm and comfy. Thank you, Paul, for that. He might be all gruff on the outside, but my goodness, on the inside, he is a sweetheart. And it shows by how well these headphones are just nice today.
Yeah. No,
That's what she said.
I mean, something like that for sure. We got a great show planned. John McClain going to join us at 9:30 like he usually does. 10:15, Ryan O'Reilly will join the program after what I described as a drunk game last night. Just completely high scoring. Predators win 7-6 in overtime. They were down. They came back, took the lead, got tied back up. Then they were down again, tied it back up at the end of the game, and then ultimately win in overtime. So Steven Stamkos, his first 4-point game as a Predator, was fantastic. I mean, a lot of the guys were fantastic, but we'll talk to Ryan O'Reilly at 10:15.
That's two bad teams playing it out last night. Remember last year when I said the Jags and the Titans were playing in a game, and I said, looked like two homeless men fighting over McDonald's bags. And this guy called in. I was like, that's so rude, and you shouldn't. I was like, dude, it is a absolute joke, and we laughed from 9 to 11. So get used to it. But good, they won the game last night. And now I heard you and Robbie talking about the win. Does that make y'all mad because now the Preds are not in the lottery or in the lottery or whatever?
They were always going to be probably third. And again, I don't subscribe to the, you got to lose, you got to tank. And
so stupid.
You know, I mean, I hear Jared saying that and
so
everything.
Stupid.
Now it doesn't matter. They're pretty much locked into the third spot. We'll see what the lottery says. It is a lottery, so they could still get the first overall pick. But now just go out and play the best you can, and then end the season, and then go from there.
Now headed to Utah.
They will head to Utah. And so I know the Predators have a watch party thing that we'll tell you about as well, which is cool. But Andrew Burnett's still not with the team, so hopefully everything's okay with him and his family. But so Todd Richards was the acting coach again last night, but it'll be cool to talk to Ryan at 10:15. At 10:30, Jim Jeffries, comedian, coming to town. We'll talk to him.
No, I feel like you know who he is, but you don't know who he is. That's okay.
I mean, the comedians are kind of for you,
right? Thank you, buddy.
But
this guy,
I mean, I do. I know who. Yeah, I mean, I definitely know who he is.
He is massively popular. He's very crude, but in a funny kind of way. Not like Red Fox, but in a very funny way. But I think his show here is sold out. I mean, it'd be good. So thank you for doing that, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. Happy to do that.
By the way, how are your Braves doing? Still terrible?
They won last night. They beat the Phillies.
Did they?
Yeah.
So
I actually watched some of it. It was nice.
Where do you watch it?
Home.
What channel do you watch it on?
So it's on FanDuel Sports Network.
Okay, but you don't have YouTube TV.
I do not.
Okay. So on YouTube TV, it comes on TBS as Braves Philly. I'm like,
actually, last night it was TBS. Yeah.
I'm going to watch this game. Blacked out.
Really?
I was furious. Blacked out on YouTube in the Nashville market. Now, how do you expect me to fall in love with baseball again if you're blacking out games? Well, I'm like, I didn't even waste time to look into what was going on.
Yeah, listen, I've blacked out at games. You should not black out games. It just that's a rule.
Have you ever gotten so What's the word here?
Inebriated.
Yeah, okay, drunk. That you have missed a concert or a game or something?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I know people who have gotten so drunk before a UT football game that they don't remember the game. Like, what are you doing?
I'm usually pretty good about that.
Okay, just making sure.
No, but yeah.
No concerts at all?
Not that I can remember.
Not even partake in the wacky tobacco? No, I'm kidding. Don't answer that. Don't. No, she is listening. No. I just never understood why that, it happens at all sporting events, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I paid good money for
that.
No,
but last night, it's kind of like we all go through when a major sporting event is done. It's like, okay, what do you do now? Last night was perfect because it was the first night that I've been home, I feel like, in a week because I've just been all over the place. And then, so I cooked some dinner. I watched the Braves. I watched the Preds. And then I caught up on wrestling because I hadn't watched that yet. So it was just a very relaxing kind of chase evening, which was nice.
All right. So let me ask you this question. And we got John McClain. We got a lot of sports to talk about. What are you expert at cooking?
Steak.
You're good?
Yeah. I mean, my dad taught me at a young age, do the grill marks and perfect temperature and all that stuff.
So you could get a job as a cook?
Yeah, I probably could.
Okay.
If this doesn't work out.
Good luck on this too as well. We know Dr. Crane's good at this, right? What's the one that you're good at cooking?
Yeah, I do enjoy cooking. It's a passion of mine, let's put it that way.
So you're picking up your meat tomorrow?
It's coming to me. So
your deli meat, right?
Yes, that's correct.
What are you getting?
Let's see, spicy capricola, guanciale, Italian sausage with fennel. That's very hard to find. And a few other deli meats, but yes.
You're just making this up now.
No, I'm serious.
Capricola?
Capricola, yep.
I mean, that's a diet drink that I've never heard of.
No, it's not. Some people call it gabagool,
Excuse me?
Gabagool, that's like the whole, in the TV show Sopranos and stuff, people say, give me the gabagool. It's capricola.
So that's not just like a slang for like,
it is a
give
slang.
Me the good stuff.
It's a slang for capricola, but it's the people call it gabagool.
You're the best, man. So are you going to cook tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about this.
What time? What time do you want us to be there?
5:30, 6 o'clock around that time.
It's my turn to bring the wine. So
it is.
Yeah,
okay. Red wine would be preferable. Last time too.
Yeah. When Nani started telling jokes.
Don't know where those go.
That lady.
She was amazing. But Chase, you went down the extra aisle at Kroger because you got some really good wine.
Yeah,
I was proud of you.
Did. Yeah, I moved up a notch from the barefoot. So
yeah, and and you bypassed the Champipple. So I'm proud of you for doing that.
I was proud I didn't bring the box wine this time. I was like, this is great.
That's more of a Friday thing.
Like but it was great though. Night, But it was great. If I invite you over, I am cooking, and I'm telling you what, and you could laugh, I don't care. I cook bagel bites perfectly in the air fryer, right time, everything. Bagel bites are the best. So if we ever get together, I'm bringing bagel bites. Everybody likes bagel bites. Everybody. Dr. Crane, I know you do. And your little food, what's what I'm looking for?
He's a foodie.
Yeah, you're a foodie, but with a little snarky attitude.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
no.
on food.
A food snob.
Because I've asked you about several Italian restaurants in Nashville. And you're like, no.
As a kid, I was always told, my grandparents said, listen, if you go to a friend's place or you go to a restaurant, be polite, order something that you will be easy to eat. And that's just pasta, maybe with red sauce, or pasta with cheese, just plain pasta. That's fine. Okay. Because you can easily get that down, unless they cook it wrong. Right. Then that's the issue. If they don't cook it al dente, then you might need to just say, hey, thanks, I'm just not hungry.
What word did you use there?
Al dente. It's the way the pasta's cooked.
Okay.
So I thought that was a guy that worked at the post office.
I did too.
Yeah, al dente is like a mix. It's a perfect way to cook the pasta. If you cook it, I guess, underdone, it's a little hard.
Okay.
But if you cook it like overdone to the pasta, it's all mushy. So you got to find the happy medium.
Okay.
Will you call Kenny the mailman and say, hey, do you know what al dente?
I do know an Al Dente. He works at the Bellevue Post Office. When I stop by with my guidepost, I say, hey, is Al Dente here today? And they say, he's not here today. He's off. And so I have to go over and try to find Mr. Plaster over at Lipscomb. And I say, Mr. Plaster, I got your guidepost. And they say, Mr. Plaster's not here. And I'm like, do you know when he's going to return? And nobody knows. And so I tried calling Willie, but Willie was taking George's car for service that day. And I said, Willie, is Mr. Plaster up at Lipscomb? And Willie said, who is this? I said, this is your friend Kenny the mailman.
What was that at the end?
I don't know. I ran out of breath. I'm so
man, I don't
sorry.
know about that, man.
That was,
Sorry about that.
I'm always curious of where the text line is going to go earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And 615-737-1025 is their phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. Felix says, I work at the airport. I've seen people so inebriated that they have missed their flights. Happens very often at BNA. I believe that.
Yeah, that would be. Why would you do that? I mean,
Yeah.
we got there early. We had a flight, and then people were just pounding drinks at the bar. I'm like, what the hell, man?
B-Man says it was talking about the Braves. It was blacked out on True TV and TBS at my house, but FanDuel had the Preds and Who Cares Grizzlies on. Still mad I couldn't watch my Braves, says Crappy Preds. Couldn't watch my Braves, so that was true. Al wants to know, did you say sausage with fentanyl?
No, fennel. Fennel. It's a C. No, not fentanyl. Goodness gracious.
I'm not eating that.
No,
Sorry, man.
nobody's eating that.
No.
No, but if you cook Italian sausage and then just marinate it in red wine, that's the way I grew up with it. My grandfather cooked it that way. Incredible.
How
Yeah,
long do you
that
cook
sounds
it
good.
for?
Just until the browning process happens.
God, you are fascinating.
I know. He could do a cooking show or a cooking podcast.
My one thing I want to do when this meat comes in is cook a pasta. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It's like amarencina,
Sure.
something like I'll get
take-
to you in the break about that.
That's okay. You don't have to. that's fine.
Oh,
Great. Do you do that? Do you do that to people when they're like, "Oh, hey, I'll do this," and like, "No, you don't have to." It's totally fine.
You know what I've learned though, as I gotten older, and somebody says, "Hey, stop me if I told this before," I will stop you immediately because I'm not sitting through this again.
Yeah, it depends on the story. If I like the story, then I'll let you tell it again. If I'm like, this is just, I don't have 20 minutes,
Right.
then I'm like, no, I stop.
It's because we're getting older. I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, running out of room. you know,
I
running out of
guess I am.
time.
Clock is
615-737-1025. We're up and running here on this Wednesday. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And our show, of course, is presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, where we will be Friday this week, because tomorrow we're going to be out in Rockvale.
Yeah, buddy. The MTSU golf tournament for their NIL collective. Coach Mason will join us. Nick Vattiato will be on with us tomorrow. This is kind of the new norm now for a lot of colleges now hosting these events and raising money for their NIL collective. And the mid-majors got to bust their tail to get that done. So be a lot of fun tomorrow doing that.
I got a question on that. Just when you think about this, like it used to be, I'll use Peyton Manning, your favorite, as an example.
Okay.
But we all know where Peyton Manning's loyalties lie when it comes to college. He is orange through and through.
Yes.
There's no question. Like when he made that decision to go to Tennessee, he was a Vol for life, as they like to say. There's no Ole Miss. There's none of that. And even to this day, into his 50s, he will show up at an event, at a game or whatever, and gives to the university and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone. Like you think about that. That's gone. Because these guys could go to 3 different schools before they're done. Now they could pick the last one and say, like, you know, let's say I start off at MTSU and then I go to Alabama and then I end up at Tennessee. Now I can say I'm Tennessee, you know, and whatever.
Right.
But it's like, it's not the same.
I think this came up with Jalen Hurts. All right, when Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl, Alabama's like, that's our quarterback. And Oklahoma people are like, no, it's not.
Right.
He's Oklahoma quarterback.
Like, do you claim both?
I think it's got to be where you ended, right? To me, Cam Ward is Miami. He's not Incarnate Ward or
right. But okay,
Washington
Jalen Hurts is a really good example. He spent a majority of his collegiate career at Alabama,
right,
and 1 year at Oklahoma. So Alabama clearly wants to still claim him.
But why did he leave Alabama?
Because Tua got the job.
Yeah. So he went where he's going to play now.
Right. But I mean, okay, so you're him. Are you, because we know that part of this NIL culture is going to be when a guy comes through a program and he goes on to the league, whether it's the NBA or the NFL or what have you, MLB, and start making millions and millions of dollars, you know, there's going to be kind of a hey, you want to help us out a little bit, you know? So who are you helping out?
All right, so if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm helping. Oh my gosh!
You see what I'm saying?
I'm thinking, well, Oklahoma, but hell, Alabama got me where I needed to go.
Because there's some guys that will transfer, you know, for that graduate year, probably because, you know, they sit down with the coaches and the coach is like, hey, you know, I got this 5-star that he's been here for a couple years, and I think he's kind of ready to take over. You know, we love you. I mean, if you want to stay, that's fine. But, you know, I don't want to lose him either. And, you know, I mean, there's probably a lot of that going on.
Well, there was a guy middle in 23. He's the offensive lineman. Then he went to, and I forget his name, and he went to Georgia Tech and was like, you know, honorable All-American, All-ACC. Now he's at Georgia Tech doing this. But in his mind, he needed MTSU to get him to Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech didn't give a rat about him when he came out of high school.
Yeah.
So now you're torn on that. I think you kind of both.
How do you look at Carson Beck?
Oh man.
Let's say he's in the Heisman discussion this year. Hell, he wins it. And next year he's going to be top 5 pick. He's going to be drafted out of Miami as the Miami quarterback. But like, do you just forget that Georgia existed?
So where do you look from his perspective? I mean, Georgia got him to Miami.
Exactly. So I mean that's what I'm curious of where some of these loyalties lie. You know, I mean, there is no loyalty. I can answer my own question. There's no loyalty anymore.
Right.
But you know, it's just like my point is we talk we talk about all the time, like Derek D-Mace is a prime example. Michigan State through and through. Anytime Michigan State does anything, he's in here trash talking. You know, we're laughing, we're having a good time. I just feel like that kind of love for your school isn't there as much anymore because now it's just a where can I go and get the most money and all that.
So what about his NFL career? Ravens or Titans?
Well, I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
and I think you know, I don't want to put words in Derek's mouth, so I'll let him kind of speak on that. But I think there was a time where he was hurt, you know, from like emotionally from how having to be cut and all that stuff here.
Yeah.
And so he went to Baltimore, had a continued his career, had a good career in Baltimore, and ended up retiring as a Raven. But now that time has passed, I mean, I think he claims both. I think he looks at both as integral parts of his life and career.
Yeah, that's his internal balance. We shouldn't determine that for him. What were you saying about Peyton, though? Peyton, that kind of all in 4 years.
I just, that was the first example that came to mind. Like, I mean, there are several others, but like, if you think about if you're watching, even if it's the Lady Vols, like any type of big game, all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, Peyton's here. You know, usually got his son with him or something. I mean, it's just like that.
So that's gone now?
I think in some ways it will go away.
So Baker Mayfield started at what, Texas Tech? Then he went to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Now, I guess for him, he probably claims Oklahoma.
Yeah. Joe Burrow, Ohio State to LSU. I mean, you would claim where you got
Will Levis,
right?
Penn State to Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's what going forward now. That's what it's going to be. I mean, but nobody's going to stay. I'm going to say this.
And you're still going to have, like, let's say, you know, Dr. Crane grew up Notre Dame. Is that fair? Okay.
Go ahead.
Grew up Notre Dame. Family always loved Notre Dame. You know, good Catholic family. Everything's Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. He goes to Notre Dame because that's written in the stars. That's what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's still going to happen some, but I think some of that is just really going away because of this new world in which we live.
Well, I think I would say now, like Arch Manning. Why would Arch Manning go pro? We talk about that. Remember, Arch Manning's making more. Didn't we have this more than 14 starting quarterbacks?
Yeah.
He's barely played at Texas. So now I think we'll see more elite guys like that staying in college the entire time. Carson Beck's getting $3 million.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point because
why go?
You're going to make more money, you know, right now.
Yeah.
Now, if you end up being a top 10 pick or a first round pick or whatever, like you'll do okay. But, you know, why not capitalize on what you can do and being the big fish in a big pond, but being a big fish instead of going to the NFL where you become, who knows?
Let me ask this. What player would you have liked to have seen? This is all collegiate sports. Stayed 4 years. One guy comes immediately to mind to me. It's going back a ways for me. Who would you like to have seen stay all 4 years in college?
So whether they transferred into your school or out of your school,
all 4
whatever.
years. Yeah.
I'll
give you mine real quick.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson left after his sophomore year at Michigan State. Isaiah Thomas left after his sophomore year at Indiana. Now, Jordan left after his junior year, and I get it. There's nothing more he could have probably done. But the guys who like a Magic Johnson, what more could he have accomplished? I mean, yeah, although he went to the Lakers and next year they won the NBA title, I understand that. But guys that you could stick around, like, man, I love to see them.
Well, I mean, it's hard to kind of think about this because, again, we're talking about how much it's changed. But I'll use an example. I'll use Tennessee as an example. If Hendon Hooker or Joe Milton had 4 years in the same program with Heupel, would things have looked different for them?
Good point.
After college,
especially Hooker.
I'd say especially Milton.
I think Milton was too erratic, but I think Hooker was of a different mindset.
Yeah, like if he doesn't start at Virginia Tech, if he starts at Tennessee and Heupel's his coach, because he came in with Heupel, right? And
22.
I think they got there at the same time.
Well, he was a quarterback in 21. It was Hooker, right?
Yes.
It was Milton started and Hooker came in.
Yeah. That's right. What it was. So if they had 4 years together, like would Hendon Hooker, I mean, would it have affected anything? I mean, look, I think Hendon Hooker could be a starter in the league right now had he not torn his knee.
I don't know because the Lions brought in Teddy Bridgewater.
I know.
That's kind of weird. I get it. Like Heath Schuler left after his junior year in 93. There was nothing else. And because he was going, that let Peyton Manning go to – if Heath Schuler would have come back in 94, for senior year. I'm not sure Peyton Manning goes to Knoxville. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because he knew there was an open job there. There was Jerry Colquitt was there, Todd Helton, and Brandon Stewart would be the quarterbacks. And then you had Peyton Manning, but there was no clear-cut favorite. But Heath Schuler would have been fun to watch another year. You go back, you play revisionist history with these guys. But the question is, they'll have to figure it out on their own. Where like if Derek Mason goes in the Hall of Fame, where does he go in as?
Well, and that's a great question. I mean,
I don't want to make that decision.
I was thinking about that the other day, like Freddie Freeman. When Freddie Freeman goes in the Hall of Fame, is there going to be an A on his cap or an LA on his cap? There should be an A, in my opinion, or nothing. But
yeah, I agree with you on that.
The NFL doesn't specify. Like you look at the busts, it just has a random, regular jersey with no teams or anything. But I think Derek would go in as both. And the other two teams that we don't talk about that he played for.
Right. Yeah.
But I think he would go in. I mean, because like the thing is, guys DeAndre Hopkins, if he, you say no, but if he gets to the Hall of Fame one day, will be credited to the Titans as a Hall of Famer.
He will not get in the Hall of Fame in our lifetime.
Okay. That's fine. I don't want to get into this again. 2438 says Carson Beck graduated from the University of Georgia, declared for the draft, changed his mind to go to Miami to be with his girlfriend. That's a little different scenario considering he told Georgia he was leaving and graduated from there. Jalen Hurts graduated from Alabama as well, so I guess you could base it on where they got their degree. And that's true. Hurts was a graduate transfer.
Yeah. Because that's before it all kicked in. You had the 5th year.
Yeah.
If you already graduated. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's fair. But an interesting discussion nonetheless.
It is. Good job, buddy.
Must step away from it and go to our man, John McClain. He's going to join us coming up next. The draft is just, thank God, 2 weeks away. We will talk to him. Coming up next, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 1063 The Game. Text in the keyword watermelon. I'm not going to spell it. Watermelon now to 615-737-1025 for your chance to win a pair of all-inclusive Eurostone Club tickets to see Lainey Wilson at Bridgestone Arena on Thursday, October 2nd. Distilled by Green River Whiskey. Sit back, relax, and bourbon. Green River Distilling Company, Owensboro, Kentucky. Alcohol by volume varies by product. Please drink responsibly. So text keyword watermelon now. Let's say hello to John McClain, who joins us on the program. John, how you doing?
Well, I tell you, people here are still gloom and doom after the Cougars lost that game to Florida and did something that was so out of character, collapsing down the stretch, what they had not done. So it's not like they were beat on a last-second shot, but the last 3 minutes are hard for people to get over because they're a very popular team here. You know, they don't have as many alums as Texas and Texas A&M do, but people, even like me, I went to Baylor, but I pull for the Cougars. So it is very disheartening.
Have you had any dealings with Kelvin Sampson at all?
No, I haven't, but I know a lot of people that have. People like him, respect him, even though he's hard on his players. One of the things that everybody likes is they're very disciplined. They don't get arrested. When they make public appearances, they're yes sir, no sir. They treat everybody great, whether you're older or kids, and that's because a lot of it's the way they're brought up, but also it's the culture Kelvin Sampson has established over there.
You use that word culture, and that's where I was going to start things off because, you know, I think one thing, and Jeffrey Simmons was on a podcast recently and kind of talked about that they're kind of still establishing culture under Brian Callahan and figuring out what it is. And he made the comment, you know, you knew what it was with Vrabel. And I think all of us knew what it was with Mike Vrabel. When he walked in, like the first press conference, you knew what he was going to expect. You knew where he came from and all of that. You know, in your years covering teams, was it pretty evident when the coach would speak of, hey, here are the expectations, here's the culture I'm setting, and was there none of this, well, we're kind of figuring it out as we go?
Well, first of all, culture's attitude. And if you're a pro, you should know what it takes to win, whether you have a new head coach or not. You know what it takes, work ethic, how much time you spend at the facility in the off season, even though you're not required, how hard you work on your body, your diet, everything it takes to be a professional. And if you're still trying to learn what that means, no matter who the coach is, there's something wrong, because common sense tells you what you need to do. Now, maybe Brian Callahan's philosophy on offense or his philosophy of defense, that might be something they're still trying to figure out. And if Cam Ward works out the way they hope, then that will all come into place a lot quicker, because they'll know that they have the quarterback they want, hopefully, for years. Now, they thought that when they drafted Marcus Mariota. It's interesting. He and Jameis Winston are still in the league. And was their failure with the teams that drafted them, the Titans and the Bucs, was that because of the team, or was that because of them? A lot of failure by quarterbacks is because of the team. They change coaches, they change systems. They don't have a system that is what's best for that quarterback. They don't have the talent. They don't protect them. So much of it falls back on the team, and yet it's the quarterback who gets all the blame.
Amen to that. John McClain with us on the Chasing Big Joe show. John, I would like to be Trey Lance's agent, because he's doing a good job of keeping this young man in the league. He just signed with the Chargers a deal that could be up to $6.2 million. And I was looking at Trey Lance, John. He played 19 games in college. Where did this go wrong? Why would the Niners, what did they see in him? Obviously, because it's panned out, he's not that good, but he's still in the league. How is this happening? Well, I mean, this just blows my mind with him.
Joe, in that pandemic year, they played one game his last year, so all the scouts could come in there and see him. And he was highly rated. He had great size, great arm, pretty mobile, and they all talked about how impressive he was. So everybody liked him. But the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan liked him the most to trade up multiple number one picks to get him. He goes down as one of the all-time busts in draft history. Ryan Leaf, to me, will always be the biggest. But you're right. He hasn't even proved himself as a backup quarterback. You know, they went with Cooper Rush last year, not Trey Lance. And I thought Cooper Rush for a backup quarterback is pretty good, and the Cowboys shouldn't have kept him. It should have kept him, and they didn't. And then they didn't want Lance, whom they'd given up a fourth-round pick for. So he may just bounce around, but at some point, he's going to have to play a few games like Cooper Rush did last season and has done twice in the last 4 seasons. And he's going to have to show people this is why I keep getting a couple million a year with a chance to make even more, because so far he hasn't done it. I watched him as a rookie play against Davis Mills, a rookie with the Texans, and they played in Santa Clara. And he was okay, nothing special, but the 49ers won because the Texans were one of the 2 worst teams in the league. But I remember watching him and not thinking, aha, this is why Shanahan traded up to get this kid. He just didn't show me anything in that one game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, our good friend Tim Hasselbeck told us one time, John, keep playing till all 32 teams tell you, yeah, we're good. Take care of yourself. And look, good for Trey Lance. I mean, good for him on this.
Where else is he going to go and make a few million a year? I think that's a great approach that Tim Hasselbeck said, till they all tell you no. That's why I fully believe when Deshaun Watson is released after this season, where the cap hit will be like $45 million, and I think he'll be back because teams are so desperate. And it's obvious that New Orleans, Atlanta, Miami, Cleveland, none of them held all those civil suits against him, even though there were over 20, maybe 30. I can't remember now. They don't care what you do if they think you can play. So he'll get another chance.
We'll have more with John McClain coming up next here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game here on this Wednesday, continuing our discussion with John McClain, of course, down in Houston. Where do you think things are trending, kind of looking at the AFC South? Where do you think things are trending draft-wise for the Texans?
I think the Texans, they had the 25th overall pick, even though they've added 4 veteran linemen, 2 guards, and 2 tackles. In free agency and a trade, none of those guys are coming off very good years. If they were, they wouldn't have been available. So I still think they need an offensive tackle. You can make receivers. Texans' top receivers, Nico Collins, 3rd-round pick. Tank Dell, 3rd-round pick. Stephon Diggs was a 5th-round pick. So you don't have to use a 1st-round pick to get a good receiver. But, boy, if you got a shot at getting a guy, whether you think he's a tackle that has to play guard for a year like Laramie Tunsil did in Miami, you should get him, because their most valuable asset is C.J. Stroud, and they did a terrible job protecting him last season. And I'm glad they did not put a Band-Aid on it and make 1 or 2 changes. You know, they've made humongous changes in their offensive line, and they should have.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You know, you mentioned the offensive line and how bad they were. Was Bobby Slowick the fall guy maybe for that? And was that unfair? Because I mean, we're a year removed talking about him being a head coach.
Absolutely. 5 teams interviewed him. He did a great job. And then Bobby made a mistake that a lot of young offensive coordinators make. You'd think he would realize that defensive coordinators would have the entire offseason to watch every snap that C.J. Stroud and that offense took, and then they adjust accordingly. Bobby Slowick did not adjust accordingly. He kept doing the same things, and then they were 5-1 last year. They go to Green Bay, and I think it's Mark Effling, the new coordinator, was the head coach at Boston College, decided to run some stunts on the inside, and they look clueless. Now, their offensive line coach, Chris Strasser, did a really good job the previous year with a lot of injuries. Then he had everybody healthy last year, and he did a terrible job because those guys acted like they'd never seen a stunt. And it wasn't the outside guys, it was the inside guys. And everybody kept doing it. And until you could stop it, why would they not? And so he and the coach, Chris Strasser, stayed with their jobs. And I thought it was interesting because the backup offensive line coach was promoted by DeMeco Ryans and their new coordinator, Nick Caley, who came from the Rams, instead of firing him and starting over.
John, a lot of chatter about Travis Hunter. What do you make of him really in his pro day as going at receiver instead of DB? Because word has it the Browns would like him at number 2 as a wide receiver. There's just no way, John, he could do both ways in the NFL. Maybe he can. It's not really ever been done full time. But where do you see him fitting in at if he does go to the Browns as a receiver or a DB?
Well, it hasn't been done in a long time. You know, used to guys up through the 50s and some in the early 60s would play both ways, but generally they're in the Hall of Fame. And I think that whoever gets him, it's not that he can't play both positions and excel. Think about how many guys get injured, and that's just playing one way. And you're exposing him to twice the risk of injury. And even though he's almost 6'1", he weighs 185 pounds. And I hope he does it. What I would do is pick him on, like if you wanted to play wide receiver, put him at receiver, and then use him in sub packages in passing situations. Maybe, you know, a 3rd and long. But he is receivers make more money. So if I'm him and I had to pick, I would take wide receiver. But, man, if you've got a corner who can shut down the other top receiver, that is a commodity that is rare. Getting a great receiver, just look at the stats. That's not rare.
Oh, no, exactly. That's why somewhere in my crazy mind, I think Hunter is the best player in the draft, that somebody is going to make an offer to the Titans and say, hey, we want Travis Hunter. Here's what we're going to give you. I believe, John, he's that good. He's the best player in the draft. And I think it would be great if the Titans listen to that, because this is a guy that comes around not every year. To me, he is the generational talent in this draft in 2025.
Yeah, well, that's true, Joe. But you better get a quarterback. If you don't, and you got Will Levis again, you're going to have a desperate need next year. It might be just a few spots off, and that's why they're going to take Cam Ward. And the only team that would be able to do that, and really there's no guarantee, because if somebody else traded up, then Cleveland's going to take Cam Ward. So I think that Cleveland will take Travis Hunter, and the Giants have to decide Shedeur Sanders, or do they want to go with Abdul Carter? If you go back and look at drafts, there are a lot of drafts that pass rushers get picked high and they never panned out for different reasons. And the highest of corners ever been picked is third. And I think Hunter's going second, but he's not a true corner. I thought it was funny the way he wants Roger Goodell to announce him at both positions, and I hope Goodell does it.
We're talking to John McClain, of course, down in Houston. John, we talk about this with players, the jump from year one to year two, but I mean, I think coaches deserve that conversation as well. And we know that it didn't go well for the Titans and Brian Callahan in year one. In your years of covering coaches and talking to coaches, what are some things that stand out that seem to click better from year one to year two that Brian Callahan should certainly focus on?
Usually when a head coach gets his job for the first time, he hires too many of his friends. And that's because all those buddies who came around together and have worked together tell the other one, if I get a head coaching job first, you're coming with me as this. And I think it was Bill O'Brien who told me in 2015, head coaches who hire their friends have to be able to fire them. If you don't, you're doomed. That's what D'Amico Ryan's did here with Bobby Slowick, and they were best friends. And you talk about a tough decision, but it's one he thought he had to make. So Callahan has difficult decisions that start with the staff. Also with the work with the GM. He doesn't have the same GM he had. So you have a new GM who didn't hire him. Every GM that comes in, those guys want to be GMs for years, and they have their own list of head coaching candidates they want. So Callahan's going to have to show marked improvement this year, because you have a GM who has not worked with him, and you have a guy, decision maker, and Brinker, who's worked with him, but not as the boss with final say on everything. So this is a lot of pressure on Callahan. I'm not saying he's got to make the playoffs or have a winning record, but at least double the victory total.
Well, John, great stuff as always. We appreciate it, and we're almost there, just a couple of weeks away from the draft. We'll talk next week.
Guys, can't wait. One of these days, remind me, and I'll tell you what my first draft was like way back like 2 centuries ago.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. We will, we'll definitely ask him about that. I love the draft stories.
Oh yeah. Hey, coming up on our next segment, there's a new mock draft out, and it blows my mind because I have yet seen this when it comes to the Titans, and I just want to get your thoughts about this.
Okay.
It's crazy, man. This draft thing will drive us insane. 15 more days.
I just did a draft simulator too, which is just amazing.
Did you go back in time?
No,
Okay.
but I mean, the Titans draft, I just did one, and I'm like, it's fake, and I'm disappointed. Yeah, basically, that's it. We'll do that coming up in hour number 2 here on the program. The Nashville Sounds will be in action tonight on 94.9 The Fan as they take on Memphis. Pregame at 6:20. The first pitch at 6:35. Cover where the
Oh man, what'd you say? Sound for the Mammals, and I was so man. I grew up there at the First Horizon Ballpark, man. I was just sunny and red over there. I was like, man. I says the Rivers, man. I was like, yeah, I get a Cadillac.
coverage also available on the Game Nashville app at theGameNashville.com. Sounds of Baseball on 94.9 The Fan is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on this Wednesday. Be listening in this hour. We'll be giving away multiple pairs of tickets to see Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall at the Ryman on Saturday, April 12th. That's this Saturday.
What time are you doing this?
I haven't decided yet.
I'd love to. We had Arsenio on the show years ago, and he was great. I mean, he was so gracious, and that'd be a fun show to go to.
That would be fun. And those two guys that have been, late night TV and still doing stand up and stuff.
Crazy, man. Yeah. Right.
Like, my favorite question to ask somebody like that is, why? Why are you still doing this? Like, you don't have to. And it's the answer is because I love doing what I do, and I love that there are still people like that.
Well, why do billionaires still work 16 hours a day?
Right. Well, they want more money.
Right. I mean, I don't care you like Trump or not, but like Trump, Fred Smith, Warren Buffett, Bezos, these guys still work their butts off. Right. Is that all they know? Which is fine. Probably. That's fine. If that's what you learn.
Why do coaches still coach?
Pete Carroll. Why is Pete Carroll coaching?
Like, I'm surprised Nick Saban retired when he did. I think he just got tired of the BS.
Everybody got on his game, so he knew what was going on. But different. But like for Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, why is Bill Belichick coaching?
Right.
I don't need that. By the way, he looks
his
so
girlfriend's hot, by the way.
I was going to say, he looks so happy now, and his girlfriend's got a lot to do. Lil Wayne showed up at practice the other day, and the three of them was his girlfriend, Lil Wayne, and Bill, and they all just looked, they're having the best time. Lil Wayne was having the best time in the world. So awesome.
Yeah. All right. So you have a mock draft that you say you have not seen this yet.
I have not. So our good buddy Jim Wyatt puts a mock draft out all the time, and I'm going.
Oh, it goes around the mocks.
Yeah. So I've never seen, when it comes to a Titans pick, a unanimous down the board. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
There's probably 25 people, and these are all draft experts. Cam Ward.
Yep.
And I've never ever seen that when it comes to a Tennessee Titans draft choice. Never. At least since they've moved here. Never.
You know what would make so much? Well, okay, I'm not going to say it makes sense, but what would be such a Titans thing to have happen? So we all sit here. We've been debating this for months. All indications are it's going to be Cam Ward, pick number 1 overall. He's going to be the next quarterback of the Titans.
Correct. Nobody
thinks he's a franchise quarterback. Like when I say franchise, I mean, game-changing MVP caliber, get your team to the playoffs and continue for the Super Bowl every year. Nobody feels like he's that, right? Fair?
Absolutely fair.
To say that? Would it not be the most Titans things ever for them to draft him and he turns out to be this Hall of Famer and just he's one of the greatest of all times?
Or the most Titan things ever is they're late.
He's a complete bust.
They're late with the pick.
They're all sitting there popping champagne, celebrating, and then somebody goes, "Hey, did we turn the pick?"
Wait, I thought you did it. No, I thought you were going to. And then Goodell walks up and says, "Hey, the Titans missed their pick." Because it happened in 07 or 09, right?
Vikings.
That's right.
Yep.
And the Saints were able to jump up, or I think that's what it was.
That'd be so funny.
I absolutely would be. Look, man, if they do take Cam Ward, go all in. But you got to get him some help. John just talked about that. Whatever it is, got to have the quarterback to go forward with that. But I won't be surprised. Again, if they draft him, you're all in. Get him a receiver at 2, and then go for it. Let's go. But you're all in. You're invested. You're in.
Yeah,
you can't fire Callahan after year 1. You can't restart this again.
They will, but you have to. If they go 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, somewhere in there, I don't think you fire them because you have shown signs of improvement. You have shown competitiveness at that point. If you're picking number 1 overall again, then
they're all gone.
I don't think they're all gone.
The staff.
Well, yeah, the coaching staff's gone. Yeah. But I think Borgonzi and Brinker, will still be here.
Yeah.
But so they have a draft simulator. ESPN, a lot of places have this, but ESPN has a draft simulator now. And I did a very quick one during a break, I did no trades. You can do trades on this one. I just picked where the Titans have their picks, right? And I went with Cam Ward, number 1 overall. Simulated through, took Jaden Higgins, wide receiver from Iowa State, which I hated that pick.
Why? We
But
just talked about him.
we did. I know we
Why-
did.
why
From
do you-
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Come
don't know,
on
'cause
now.
I was hoping the kid from Ohio State would still be there, but he
Look at you
wasn't.
hating on.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
look,
all right.
look, it's a good pick.
We'll have the coach on next week, and we'll play this clip again.
Okay. Titans don't have a 3rd round pick, so I picked at round 4. Took Gunnar Helm, tight end from Texas. I don't really know much about him, but you
All
like that? Dr. Crane likes that
It's a
pick.
cool name.
Oh, okay.
Gunnar Helm.
Gunnar Helm.
All right, I like where we're going here because I'm telling you, if you're going to go offense, go all offense.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Because so far I've gone quarterback, receiver, tight end.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
all on board.
Now they had 2 4th rounders right now. So they picked at 103 and then they pick again at 120. And this individual was still sitting there, and I said, why the hell not? From Arizona State, running back, Cam Skattebo in the 4th round. He was just there, and I knew it would be
Are
funny
you
to talk
picking
about.
this, or is the simulator picking it?
I'm picking for the Titans, and then it simulates everything else.
The next Peyton Hillis, baby.
Probably.
Yeah.
He'll get the Madden cover, be good for like 2 years, and then never hear from him again.
Has that bulldog face mask?
But where do you? I think he's an intriguing pick, but where are you gonna? I mean, you got Pollard, you got Spears.
Well, here's the thing. Spears has kind of sucked. Like he hasn't been what everybody thought he was going to be. I like Tajay Spears, and I know he's battled some injury and
All right.
everything, but
Be adamant about that.
You
Hit the road, pal. Okay, I like it. Brandon, it's gotta
so why not? Crit competition.
Okay.
Pick 5 or round 5. Now I start addressing defense. Edge rusher Tyron Ingram Dawkins from Georgia. I mean, get one of the, as long as he's not driving to the facility, get one of those. Sorry, I had to. Get one of those edge rushers from Georgia in the 5th round.
If he, I'm torn on this one because if he's that good from Georgia edge rusher, he'd been long gone.
I mean,
Okay, but he
you
might
know,
be.
again. I'm taking
Who's the linebacker they took that was just terrible? Monty Rice?
last year.
No, like 4 or 5 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, from Georgia.
Yeah. Is it Monty Rice?
No. It was dang it, I'll look it up because I
Okay.
was actually really excited about that pick.
Yeah.
All right, another 5th rounder. I heard the late great GM's voice in my head that said, "Go get a guard. I can get that later. Go get a guard." Seth McLaughlin from Ohio State he's a center guard.
No, this franchise will never take another Ohio State offensive lineman. Ever. So they've got a 1, 2, 2 4s, and 2 5s.
And 2 6s. Yep.
Okay.
So I took a flyer on him. 6th round, I took Cody Simon, linebacker from Ohio State.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Vrabel's gone.
I'm just
Trying to butter him up.
No.
All right.
And then with their final pick in the 6th round, I took another receiver from Florida, Shamir. I think that's how you say it.
Shamal,
Shamir.
Barcelona Incorporated. Da-na-na-na-na. We're gonna do that. Give us in. All right. What's his
Shamir
name?
Dyke, I think
Shamir-
is his name.
Okay.
Yeah. So I took him. So I just realized in looking at this that I took 2 defensive players.
That's
in this whole
fine.
thing, but
Look, why not go all in on one side of the ball? Go all offense. If you're gonna do it, just go for 1 year. Boom.
So then I was curious how the simulator did the other teams. Cleveland at 2 went Abdul Carter and then James Pierce with their first 2 picks, which I don't see that happening because they already got Myles Garrett. But if you had those 2 with Myles Garrett, like,
Good. If James
woof.
Pierce, if all those rumors are unfounded about him,
yeah, which is it? They might be. The Giants at 3 do not go quarterback. They go Travis Hunter, according to the simulator.
he's good.
And then Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky. So they go 2 corners, which I mean, I know.
So that'd give the Giants Malik Neighbors and
Mhm.
Travis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And in what's his name from Tennessee? Hyatt's
Jalen
still
Hyatt.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still
Not
there.
bad, man.
Let's see. 4 is New England. So the Vrabinator goes Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Then Donovan Jackson, a center guard from the Ohio State University.
You're crazy doing all this.
Jacksonville at 5 goes Ashton Genty with their first pick, which I think is a very real thing.
Put butts in seats.
I think that could definitely happen. And then the Raiders at 6, Shedeur Sanders.
When they just signed their quarterback to a massive
That's where
deal.
it's a simulator. So I don't think that's happening. Again, I did not pick that. That was just the computer simulating.
All right.
So I could do it all over again, and who knows who would be there.
By the way, Gunnar Helm, not a bad option, Chase.
I don't think, I mean, I knew a little bit about him. They have to take a tight end.
From looking at the highlights that I've seen online, they're using him as a safety net at Texas, which is kind of nice. Over the middle and the flats, a lot of RPO stuff, which is kind of nice.
What do rookie quarterbacks love?
Right. A safety net. Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that could certainly be it. Coming up next, Ryan O'Reilly going to join the show. Predators had a big win last night, a wild one. We'll talk to him. Coming up next, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Shea looks back in, now on the right wing side, holds up, looks for some help. Here's Svechkov, scores! Fedor Svechkov scores in overtime! And the Predators beat the New York Islanders here tonight by a final of 7-6.
It was a wild one last night at Bridgestone Arena, but the Predators come out on top with the win as they outscore the Islanders 7-6 to get the win. And one of the gentlemen that he actually scored the first goal for the Predators last night, Ryan O'Reilly, is on the line with us now. Ryan, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
You just had to make it exciting last night, didn't you?
Yeah, we haven't had much excitement this year, so it was nice to kind of get the place going and score some goals. It was it was a great game though.
I have been very impressed with the young man that scored that game-winning goal lately, Fedor Svechkov, who Barry Trotz, Andrew Burnett have both said, he got called up out of necessity, maybe wasn't quite ready and had to grow into that role. I think he's done a really, really nice job, and I know he's somebody that you've worked with quite a bit, being your teammate, but I have been impressed watching him grow.
Yeah, he's obviously it was amazing play on that goal. What a shot. But he's a great kid. He works hard. He shows up every day. And it's a tough thing to do, is just to jump in this league. And I think he's done an amazing job at adapting quickly, improving as quickly as possible. And yeah, he's playing great. I think he does so many things well. He's got a great shot, but little plays he makes and great hands. It's fun to watch him. Just the progression that he's had since he's kind of came to us has been so impressive.
You guys get the win, but you got a little. You had to get a little work done. You okay?
Yeah, yeah. I got 6 stitches on the nose. I know it was a crazy play because obviously we're on the power play. Archie breaks his stick. I go to help the puck, get the puck. I get high stuck, and then I go down, and they go all the way down, score, and there's no call on the play, and they can't review it or anything. So, it was pretty, heated. I think I myself might have said some mean words to the ref, but I wasn't happy about it. But thank God we pulled it out, because it was an unfortunate play.
Okay, so I obviously it gets heated, but in a situation like that where it's pretty, and I get it's bang bang, it's in the moment, they may not see it right away, but then after the fact, when it's pretty obvious that something was committed, I mean, what is that conversation like? And does the league need to kind of have an eye in the sky that will say, hey, no, you missed something, let's go ahead and make this right?
Yeah, like I'm guessing it's a gray area where if they score, they can't review it. But if it's like a major, if a guy gets cut, they're allowed to review it. But I don't know, maybe because they scored, they weren't allowed to, or something. I know we were all confused. We thought for sure they couldn't review it, but they said they can't. There's nothing they could do. So I don't know if that's just in the rule book that when that happens, play goes on. But if there's a whistle, they're allowed to talk about it. So say if they don't score and there's a whistle, I think they're allowed to talk about it, and then they can call a penalty from there or review it. So I don't know the ruling on it, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more, clarification on it. But good news is we won.
Yeah, that is good news.
It'd be a lot more painful today if we lost, and that was kind of the deciding the play of the game.
Ryan O'Reilly's on the Chasing Big Joe show. I want to ask you, I'm glad we have you on, Ryan, about Ovechkin with the goals and everything. From the outside, it's like, oh, what a great job. He got the job done. But the grind, what all goes on. To have that record broken, a guy you've played against many times, I mean, I'm thinking you have a deeper appreciation of what he did and how he got there than us fans do.
Oh gosh, that record is so cool. I think no one thought he could do it, and I think we all thought Gretzky's records would be untouchable. And every year he's finding a way to just find the back of the net, and whether you say he maybe lose a little speed, he's still into his spot and shooting the puck better than ever. And just there's something to be said for just going to knowing where the puck is going and being ready to shoot. It's just incredible. And playing against him this year too, like he finds a way. He gets lost at the right time. He can, and you just have to put a puck near him, and he's able to get it off exactly where he wants it. It's so impressive, and it's kudos to him and everything he's done for the game too. I think it's so cool for just around the league or around the nation, just people talking about this record being broken and how special it was. But I thought it's an amazing thing that it's so cool just to see and be able to witness it.
Does a guy like that talk trash on the ice? Have you and him ever gotten into it?
I've never had with him, but I don't think I think he plays with an edge and he gets into it out there. But I haven't heard any. He'd be a tough guy to chirp. With all he's done in his career, he'd be a tough guy to kind of go at. I think he's got a lot going on, and he's a guy too. You want to try to let him sleep as much as you can. So. If anyone is chirping him, you kind of tell him, "Hey, let's just maybe not talk to him and fire him up more. Let's let him kind of sleep and
And keep it that way." All right, you guys are headed to Utah, first trip out there this year. It's got to be kind of exciting. I think you've played in a lot of arenas in your career. Now, add a new one to your list.
Yeah, it's cool. It's we're excited to kind of get there and just kind of see the city. I heard it's great facility, and the city's been really rallying behind the team, and excited little pulse there. But it's always cool. It's always cool to just kind of have something different, and it'll be a fun trip.
Ryan O'Reilly is with us, who scored number 300 last night. So Ryan, you're only 595 behind Ovi now. So I think you can catch him. Yeah,
I might have to play till about 75, but we'll see if I can get there.
I know obviously we're all thinking about Bruno, and he's been away from you guys with some personal stuff going on, but what's it been like having Richie kind of call the shots as a guy that has done that before?
He's done a great job. Obviously it's unfortunate for Bruno. We wish him the best. It's not easy by any means what he's going through, and Richie's done great. I think it's just kind of nice sometimes, and a little change of pace for us to kind of just hear a new voice. But I thought last couple of games we played well. The game before against Montreal did a lot of good things, didn't come out on top, but he's done a great job behind the bench for us.
As we wrap this up, I know you have to be very proud of this. You are the Predators nominee for the King Clancy Award, which is given to guys that are very big in the community. You've been up for this before, but how special is it to be recognized for that kind of work?
Yeah, it's always an honor. I think something that I think growing up, my parents always did so much. We fostered a lot of kids growing up, and there's one thing I want to do is make my parents proud and try to be more like them, every day. And it's cool to get recognized like this. I know my parents are very excited and proud of me for it. And I got to obviously thank the organization, the Preds Foundation. Everyone there does such a great job where, I kind of say what I kind of want to do, and then they do all the heavy lifting, and I'm able to kind of show up and meet a lot of great people and make an impact that way. So it's always a special thing. I'm honored to be the recipient or nominee for the team. It's a really cool thing.
Well, Ryan, we really appreciate the time this morning. Congrats on the win. Hope the nose is okay, and enjoy Utah.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Always nice chatting with you.
Yep, have a good one. Ryan O'Reilly joining us here on the program. Always enjoy our conversations with him and other Preds players. And again, they are back at it tomorrow night in Utah. It's an hour later, so pregame at 7, puck drop at 8 o'clock here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Max Hers will actually be doing pre- and post-game from the BetMGM Sports Lounge at Bridgestone Arena, as they have a watch party. They have a ticket drive thing going on, so Max will be down there, and we are certainly looking forward to that. All right, you ready to give something away?
Yeah, let's do this.
Callers number 3 and 4 will win a pair of tickets to see Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall at the Ryman Auditorium on Saturday, April 12th. Caller 3, caller 4 at 615-737-1025. You'll win those tickets. So good luck with that. Coming up next, we'll keep things going here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. The Atlanta Braves country road trip is coming to town and teaming up with the Nashville Predators and us here at 102.5 The Game. You can join us at the BetMGM Sports Lounge at Bridgestone Arena Wednesday, April 16th for a Braves watch parties. They take on the Tampa Bay Rays at noon. There will be free giveaways like hats and T-shirts. Plus, you could also win autographed baseballs and free Braves tickets to a game of your choice. The first 15 people in the door will win a pair of Preds tickets to that night's game. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/events. Looking forward to that coming up next week, which is the day of the last Predators game as well. So
it all goes so fast there, Chase.
Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on this Wednesday. Hope to maybe be joined by Jim Jeffries, but
in the meantime, you know the Cincinnati Bengals only have one Hall of Famer ever. One.
Don't tell me. I've met him. You've met him.
I have not met him. I've met his son. Did not meet him.
Okay. If it's who I'm thinking of,
say it.
Well, I'm blanking on his name. That's why I'm stalling here. But I think he came to one of our sports fests, didn't he?
I don't know. I'm trying to read your mind. And no, I will not go to Subway with you.
No. What's his name? I'm blanking.
Anthony Munoz.
Yes. Yeah. You have met him.
Did we?
Yep.
I met his son, Michael.
No, he I think it was the first sports fest we did. He was there.
Okay. Carolina 0, Texans 0. Obviously, we understand that. The Jags have 1 as well. Baselli. Ravens only have 3. Well, which is not only. They've only been around since 1999.
Okay. Ray Lewis. Ogden. And
one of the most badass safeties ever.
Ed
Reed. So Titans have 9. Can you name 9 Titans Hall of Famers?
Well, let's see how many I can do.
All right.
Bruce.
Munch.
Warren Moon.
Fiddle player. Sorry, man. Oh gosh.
Bethea.
All right. That's 4.
Okay, now I'll count Randy Moss. I mean, do I count those?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. I guess so, right? No. I don't know.
He's in, right?
Yeah, Moss is in.
And Andre Johnson. Is he in?
Right. Yes. So if you do that, that's Moss and AJ. That's 6 right there. I'm trying to go over the
I mean, I have to go Oilers because there's not a true.
Oh, it's yeah.
I mean, Bruce is the closest thing to a true Titan that's
right. This is interesting. I mean, that's a great point.
I should know more of these. Is Billy White Shoes?
No, it's not. No. Is it Curly Culp or Curly?
Yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Was there any other quarterbacks? I don't think so.
Stabler. Do you count Stabler? He's in the Hall of Fame. He played for this is so confusing.
Yeah, probably.
Because the problem is the Seahawks claim Franco Harris played 1 year. Warren Moon played 2 years. Jerry Rice played a year for him. John Randall played a year for him. So that's 4, and they've got 4 listed on the Seahawks here about getting in the Hall of Fame. That's that you can't. Titans should not claim Andre Johnson.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's necessarily that they claim them. It's just how they do it.
Okay.
I mean, Steve Hutchinson counts.
Wow, forgot about him.
Kevin Mawai. Now, Kevin Mawai counts. I would say Kevin Mawai should count.
But he was all Jets, though, man. Seahawks, Jets.
He was, but those 3 years he was here, he was pretty damn important.
6, 7, 4 years. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, right. You're right. No. He was a game changer. You're right. We did this before. Which team has the most Hall of Famers? Oh my God, we're living.
So Tennessee franchise members has 17.
Pogue just sent us a note. He said, "Come on, man, Earl Campbell."
Oh yeah. I knew we were forgetting somebody.
Thanks. We're too busy thinking about Nashville Cats guys are getting in. Pogue, sorry.
And I just pulled it up. So there is another. I forgot about this. There is another sort of quarterback. George Blanda.
Wow. God, we're stupid.
So Elvin Bethea, George, is it Bethea or Bethea?
Buffet.
Bethea.
Yeah.
Elvin Bethea, George Blanda, Robert Brazil, Earl Campbell, Dave Casper, Curly Culp, Sid Gilman, Ken Houston, Steve Hutchinson, John Henry Johnson, Charlie Joyner, Bruce Matthews, Kevin Mawai, Warren Moon, Randy Moss, Mike Munchak, Ken Stabler.
17. Okay.
And then there's 17 in the Ring of Honor.
Those Randy Moss isn't in there. Steve, Frank, and
Bud,
Eddie.
Bethea, Blanda, Brazil, Campbell, Fisher, Eddie, Mike Holloway, Ken Houston, Bruce, Steve McNair, Warren Moon, Munch, Jim Norton, Bum Phillips, Floyd Reese, Frank Wycheck.
Okay. Well, that's a good one. Yeah. That's it, man. Well, that's now I'm all confused on what's going on
So
here.
Andre Johnson isn't in? I thought he got in.
This year.
Okay, he's going in.
Yes, sir.
So then they'll have 18.
Yep. I don't know. Is there
And then Julio just retired, so he'll probably go in.
and DeAndre Hopkins will get in pretty soon. No, he's not. He's not getting in. Sorry.
Was that your Amy Adams Strunken?
That was you and Amy morphed together.
With a little kid in the mailman, I'm telling you right now, DeAndre Hopkins is not getting the Hall of Fame because he didn't do anything here and he quit on his team that Buffalo game.
If I'm curious to see how he does in Baltimore.
Yeah, but he quit on his team here. So
He
great.
did. I'm not saying he didn't.
Him and Spurrier ought to get an apartment together. Quitters. I'm still mad. People are like, I give you mad at Spurrier. He quit on the South Carolina football team. Quit on him.
What team has the most Hall of Famers?
The Chicago Bears, according to the list, they got 30.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And then next is the Packers and the Steelers at 26. 30, 27, 26. Those guys got the most. Your Cowboys are at 20. But again, I don't know how this list goes now because
Well, again, I mean, I think the way the Pro Football Hall of Fame does it, if you played a game for a team, then that technically counts.
this is Fox NFL list. So I don't know where they
I'm
get this
looking.
from.
I'm at the actual website, the
I-
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I
website.
believe you before I believe this.
Okay, I got a quick one for you. Can you name Heisman Trophy winners that are in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. OJ's one.
Yep.
Let me go back. Archie Griffin's not. Tony Dorsett is. Earl Campbell is. Billy Sims is not. 80, George Rodgers. Marcus Allen is in 81.
Yep.
82, Herschel's not. 83, Mike Rozier. 84 is Flutie. 85, Bo's not. 86 was Testaverde's not. 87, Tim Brown is.
Yep.
88, Barry Sanders is. 89, Andre Ware's not. 90, Ty Detmer's not. 91, Desmond Howard's not. 92 is Gino Torretta's not. 93 is Charlie Ward's not. 94 is Rashawn Salam's not. 95 is Eddie George isn't. 96 is Werfel. He's not. 97, Charles Woodson is.
Yep.
98 is, don't tell me, is Ricky Williams is not. 99, Ron Dane is not. 2000, Chris Winke's not. 2001, Eric Crouch is not. 2002, Carson Palmer's not. 2003.
I'll stop you. Woodson was the last one.
Thank you.
You missed. There's 3 you missed. You haven't named yet.
Before that,
After OJ,
like 60s.
there's a big one. Well, they're all. I mean, all are
72,
big, but
Johnny Rogers, 73, John Capoletti. In the 70s? No. 74.
actually,
75.
one might be
Dorsett, Campbell. Is
one.
Billy Sims in?
No,
No, they're not. George Rodgers is not. Marcus Allen is. He won in 81. 82, Herschel's not. Nobody after that. It's got to be before OJ. Staubach is. He
yeah,
was
it's before
60.
Staubach. That's
65.
one. Yeah, this one is before
Paul Horning,
Yes,
56.
Yeah.
We don't talk Paul Horning because
Yeah,
he took
but
it
I
from
knew
Johnny
you-
Majors.
right.
Why do you do this to me?
And then one more.
I don't know.
Doak Walker.
Doak Walker might be the guy working at the gyro place down the street. I don't
1948
never gotten that one.
from Southern Methodist University.
Wow, SMU.
He was the Pro Football Hall of Fame class in 1986.
Oh, nice. Well,
So-
that's good. A lot of them there.
Yeah, Charles Woodson went in 2021, so he's the last Heisman winner to be inducted.
There'll be some more after that,
Sure.
probably.
Sure, of course there will.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
there you
Good job.
go. All All right.
Well, thanks, Jim. That was good. Can't wait this weekend.
Thanks,
Good
Jim.
joke.
We'll come back. We'll get your calls in before we get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe on this Wednesday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Wednesday. A couple of you want to weigh in on the Hall of Fame, so let's knock these out real quick. Eric wants to weigh in. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. Also, a little bit of breaking story. You may have heard about this. The Lipscomb head coach resigned. Now it's going to be the head coach of Stanford.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hold on. What? Roy Acuff?
Well, no, I said the Lipscomb coach had resigned to become the head coach of Stanford.
Yeah, and it Acuff is his last name, the basketball coach?
Yeah. I heard that a little while ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but guys, as far as the Hall of Fame, a couple things. I think you may have mentioned Leon Gray, the one he was with the Patriots actually, and was traded and was a Hall of Famer. I didn't know. I didn't think Tony Frisch was in the Hall of Fame, was he?
I don't know.
Kicker?
I mean, look, I don't think he is.
No, I think
yeah.
the only kickers in are Blanda technically, and then
Jan
Stinnerud.
and Jan Stinnerud.
Yeah.
Vinatieri will be.
Yeah. And I think Ray Guy is the only black punter in the Hall of Fame. And you also talk about Heisman. Now, didn't Joe Theismann win the Heisman?
Did not.
No.
He changed his name
not.
from Thiesman to Theismann in 73, but John Capoletti won that year.
Yeah. You're right.
Always right.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing you weren't right
He's
on,
the
Joe.
most humble guy around. I love America's Kenny.
Yeah. Recently, on one of your celebrity birthdays, about within the last week and a half, you reported a celebrity actually is no longer living. Gene Shalit is dead. Because I remember seeing a feature on the Today Show about that about 2 years ago. So he's no longer alive.
I had lunch with Gene Shalit about 6 weeks ago. So he's
Eric, we got to run, but thank you.
Take care. Y'all have
See
a
ya.
great rest of the day.
David, real quick. I got about 30 seconds.
Yes, I thought maybe y'all might have missed. I didn't know if he got in the Hall of Fame or not, but Chris Dishman.
he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry then.
That's all right, buddy.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
By the way, Gene Shalit is alive. He's 99 years old, man. I'm looking at two different sources right here.
Okay. Well, there you go. He's not on today's edition, but it is actually real quick before we get to that. Text the keyword Jason to 615-737-1025 and receive a link to sign up for a chance to win all-inclusive tickets to the Eurostone Club at Bridgestone Arena to see Jason Aldean. Plus, you can also have a chance to win $1,000 cash. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. Presented by Jared Companies, Inc. Above and beyond industry standards. Wide-ranging fire protection from sprinkler systems, extinguishers, kitchen hood suppression. Just go to JaredCompaniesInc.com.
All right, gentlemen. First, let's we have International ASMR Day. So that's the microphone and all that stuff. Yeah. International Day of Pink. Jenkins
on Wednesdays we wear pink.
That's true, right?
Jenkins Ear Day. Not sure who Jenkins is, but
Well, do you not
by the
look
way,
these up?
No, he doesn't. Clearly, that's what makes this fun. If we were like Mean Girls, if we were from that movie, I could totally see him being the one to tell David James you can't sit with us.
I haven't
that
seen
as
Mean
respect.
Girls.
Is that fair, David? Yeah, I think so. All right, continue.
Okay. Next one we have is National Chicken Little Awareness Day. So
Okay.
shout out to the
That seems
chicken.
like something we should be aware about.
National Chinese Almond Cookie Day. Those look delicious.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Never mind.
National Gin and Tonic Day.
Shut your mouth.
National Name Yourself Day.
Oh, yeah.
National Pimento Cheese Day. And the Masters Pimento Cheese
I
Sandwich.
care less about that.
Okay. National Unicorn Day. 3 of us, unicorns.
They
Nashville's,
exist.
yeah. Let's see. National Winston Churchill Day. And that's to wrap it up.
Oh, was that the guy who invented cigarettes?
Wish I could tell you.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You got to get these within 2. By the way, I'll go down our sports birthday list. There's not a single sports birthday that I recognize that made our list.
Oh,
today.
wow. Okay.
All right, here we go. First birthday. He lives here, evidently. Dennis Quaid.
He
How
does
old
live
is
here.
Dennis Quaid.
I know for a fact he does live here. 68.
70.
71.
Hmm.
Dr. Crane knows his great
Quite.
balls of fire. Good job. Actress model Paulina Porizkova, beautiful model in the 80s, married the lead singer of the Cars, Rick Ocasek, in 1989. Paulina Porizkova.
64.
61.
60. Dr. Crane's up to nada. From the Cosby Show, I think this is Rudy. Keisha Knight Pulliam. I think that's who it is.
I think you
She's
might be right.
beautiful. Yes. How old is she?
43.
50.
46. Chaser popping the outside. They're not good enough. From the Twilight movies, Kristen Stewart, which, yes, I watched all of them. There's a reason behind that, but not get into it today.
37.
36.
35. Dr. Crane remembers those movies. Crying over at Belford 6. You're up 3-0.
Can I just say I'm waiting for the day, because it's going to happen, where I get one of these wrong and I'm just going to yell the F word, not thinking that I'm on the radio. Just be ready. It's going to happen.
Then you should get this one. Rapper Lil Nas X. Or Nas. Is it Nas or Nas?
I don't know. He's the one that did that
Old Town
Road.
With Billy Cyrus. Billy Cyrus.
Billy Ray. 35.
32.
26.
Jeez.
Right? Okay. It's still 3-0, Dr. Crane. The mom from the Waltons, Michael Learned.
81.
78.
86. Talk show host Joe Scarborough.
56.
65.
62. Actress Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City. She was the one with the short blonde hair.
57.
59.
59 exactly. Dr.
Jeez.
Crane watches that HBO show.
Connie lets you watch that?
Nani watches it with him.
Whoa.
The lead, it's a good show. The lead singer of Candlebox, Kevin Martin.
60.
61.
56. Hold on. Some more here. Let's see here. There's not a lot today. Singer, actor Jesse McCartney.
48.
42.
38. Trying to find one more here. The people that we know of. The lead singer of My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way.
42.
40.
48. And that's it. Shut out. 5. We have no sports birthday, so it doesn't count.
Brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc. JarrettCompaniesInc.com. That's depressing. I got shut out today.
There were no sports birthdays.
I know.
Curly,
Usually that's where I make my money.
it is. Curly Lambeau. Today's his birthday, but he died in 1965.
Yeah, he's no longer with us.
he's not.
That is going to do it for us. Tomorrow we're out in Rockville, Tennessee, 12 Stones Golf Club.
Yeah, for the MTSU NIL Collective Golf Tournament. Look, to our guys out there, we tell this every show. We love you on your cell phone. If you're going through something, please call or text 988. Please reach out to us. We'd love it when you guys trust us and reach out to us. We love talking to you because we're all in this together. And your journey sometimes might be bumpy and rough, but look, blue skies show up. That's how it is for you. Just know that we love you. More important than anything else in this world, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next, 102.5.